Hi everyone, welcome to the final word. The only thing good about today is the view behind me. Apart from that, there's now else.
They've still got the Christmas trees up, man.
They have. It'll come down now. Right, you know how the video works. People are long-time subscribers. If you're the first time viewing this is a most detailed video coming up. We've obviously got Steve Bruce, who isn't a happy bunny. We'll be talking about the lineup. We'll talk first half, second half, injuries. Is it too much? Is it wearing thin? We'll touch briefly on Rochdale as well. And with Kyle, obviously, you had a bit of a carry on the day, didn't you, with the club?
I did, but it's just one of them, mate. Move on. Okay,
less said the better then. Now, the lineup, the first thing was, Plemon L, Yoshinobu Mutu's in there. We haven't seen him for a few weeks. We haven't even seen him over Christmas, Kyle.
It's just a Leicester thing, isn't it?
I was shocked, mate.
He plays against Leicester more than he plays against any other team. Started in the Cup, started in the league, and then started in the league again. So yeah, it's just.
You're not shocked at that?
I was a little shocked, but he should have been playing more over the Christmas, mate. He really should have.
Yeah, he's probably going to get out the door, and he's not playing enough game time. And obviously, we've seen two changes, but that was the big talking point in that game. So moving in, then you're thinking, okay, we've got Leicester City. This is going to be a difficult game. What we'll do is we'll talk about the goals, and then we'll talk about the injuries after we've talked about the match. The first mistake, well, no, actually, we'll go back. Joe Linton is through, clip through. Schmeichel saves it. He's got to be scoring that, hasn't he?
He has. I know Johnny's defended him in recent months, saying he should have had, he's needed service and things like that. But for me, he's got to convert that chance. It's his bread and butter. I know in the past couple of games he's grafted, he's set up goals, he's been a big part of our play. However, that's his bread and butter. That's what we paid a lot of money for him for, and he hasn't put it away. For me, as I say, is in the scoring the players. If it's a Joselu, if it's a Riviere, if it's a Luke De Jong, if it's a Siem De Jong, they get hounded out. They get hounded out and head called. But Joe Linton won't get his head called for that, even though it is criminal that he missed.
It's because we didn't get that many chances, and like Jamie Vardy wasn't playing.
That's his bread and butter, though. Lee.
I know he's got to put it away.
That's the best chance he's had since Tottenham in the league.
1-on-1,
which is a joke in itself. I agree, but he needs to be converted.
Yeah, he's got to convert. Then he slips on when Schmeichel saves it. So that was the only real chance. We had a couple of long distance shots in that first half, but we're not really going to talk about them. I want to touch upon the two goals that Leicester scored in that first half. The first one, and I've hammered from Lejeune in the live chat that we've got. It's suicide, man. What's he thinking? There's a Leicester player on the edge of the box, and he crosses it. Well, he was meant to pass it to Fabian Schär.
He passed it across.
What's he doing? What's he doing there?
It's just it is stupid defending. One thing.
Suicide.
One thing you've got to ABC, don't pass it across your own box like that over a long distance. Perez picks it up and fair play, and really good finish, but yeah, very stupid defending. It's now 3 goals he's been a part of, but the argument against is Steve Bruce played him too much too soon from his injury.
But at the end of the day, it's his mistake, and he's cost with that goal. But I always do. Perez obviously scores. The one player that one of two players that we didn't want scoring today, and he runs over towards the strawberry corner where we obviously sit, does that, the celebration, and just winds up a little bit more, doesn't he?
He's probably vindicated in it, though, Lee.
You think he would have celebrated?
I think if he didn't get booed off certain sections, I don't think he would have. But I think he's felt vindicated in himself that, yeah, well, if you're going to boo me, I'll do it back. For me, I've said it in the quick thoughts that if he did, from those that suffer, those that supported him, because there was large sections of last year where he was shit. He was, and we need in those sections, certain sections supported him, and certain sections wanted him out the door in January. Those sections that supported him are obviously going to suffer and feel betrayed through this. I don't blame him for what he did because he got booed, but it's just one of them, Lee. It had to happen to Newcastle, didn't it, where he scores.
And then just a few minutes later, another mistake. This one's not as bad, but it's still bad. Again, Florian Lejeune just looks very lethargic out there on that left centre-back role, and he passes it again, and it goes to Madison, who comes in
very similar to the Greenwood goal
on his left foot, and then whacks the top corner, and it's another mistake. It's a great finish, don't get me wrong.
It is,
but you've just, that's basic stuff.
That's 5 or 6 faults now defensively, and people say we won't miss Lascelles and Clark. Well, we do. Clearly, we do.
Yeah, we do. And then it's 2-0 down. You're thinking, right, okay, can we go on and score one later on in the second half, you're thinking, because that's the only hope that you've got. But we suffered 2 injuries as well in that first half. We've seen Yedlin come on, and obviously Willems went off, and hopefully that's not serious because we're still waiting on Richie coming back. So he goes off, and then just before half time, Emil Croft is then brought on to play a centre-back role. Just the first half, it's just so, the mistakes and the bad luck, it's just, I mean,
when it rains it pours, like, doesn't it? It's just one of them. Everything hit at once. Perez scored, Chowdhury scored. Injuries against were 10 men in the second half because of injuries, but it's kind of a karma in a way, Lee, because how many times did we rotate? I think we played the same 3 centre backs over the Christmas period in all 3 games. That shouldn't be happening. It really shouldn't. I know that we've got a couple of injuries piling up, and Bruce has a pressure to play these lads, but way too much too soon for a couple of them, as you can see.
Half time comes. There's a substitute. Sean Longstaff's on for another injured player, John Joe Shelby. And then you think, okay, all these subs are done. We're still 11 against 11, but only literally 5 minutes into that second half, Fabian Schär goes down not once but twice. He goes down, he tries to get back up and play on. He goes down, then he walks off the tunnel. And you think, we're down to 10 men. We've got 40 minutes to try and get something back. As soon as we went down to 10 men, any hope, you might say even 2-0 down, that we've got no hope.
I was going to say, when the second goal went in, that was game gone.
And then we're down to 10 men, and then Bruce just decided, you know what, let's just go home, let's just shut up shop.
It's out of fear that though, because flashbacks of King Power Stadium, and obviously that wasn't a great day, was it? And he doesn't want to repeat that. Starting the new year, obviously, if you're on the back of 3 defeats and lose 5-0, and again, it's not good, is it?
You were someone's carer that day, weren't you? Because I couldn't see. They were blind. The criticism that I've got is you're staying 5 at the back. Almiron had to go left wing back. Kraft's playing centre back. Said this in scoring the players. Be a little bit brave. I know you said he's out with fear.
If you are brave and you go for it, and we'll concede 5 goals, they're not going to talk about the bravery. They're going to talk about stupidity. Like, it's a double-edged sword. You cannot win.
For me, I'm that type of fan that wants to risk it. Say I would risk it and get back into 2-1. But because all the subs were done, we couldn't change with tactics. We couldn't bring Andy Carroll on. We had to stay with Joe Linton and Mutu. Didn't get a kick because we accepted defeat after 55 minutes. Well, 55 minutes, but it was just appalling. Let's hear from Steve Bruce.
It's a. I think I've been involved in it something like 40 years. I've never known anything quite so bizarre as that 15 minutes. First of all, the goals that we've gifted them, of course, and then to lose 4 players in 15 minutes is. I've been saying for weeks, it's ridiculous, the schedule, and unfortunately we've paid the price for that today. We've got 3 of them with hamstrings and 1 with a groin, so we'll see how they are. But we knew when we're making the substitution at half time with John Joe not being able to carry on, then you're wanting that little bit of luck that everybody else is going to be okay. And within a minute, we're down to 10 men, and it was difficult enough against a very good Leicester team without gifting them the goals. I mean, it's a great finish from Maddison, you'd have to say, but the way in which the manner of it was the disappointing thing. And as I said, after then, it's a difficult afternoon for everybody concerned, and well done to the supporters. They stayed with the team and realised the difficulty we were having.
Right, so that was Steve Bruce, and obviously injuries have caught up with Kyle. We now have 10 players at this current moment, 10 players out. There'll be a list on screen who they are. What happens going into Rochdale then? Do you try play your best side and bring in a couple of the kids from the under-23s, or do you have to bring in Darlow and play Matty and players who aren't getting game time?
Mate, we've got to. It's not. We've got to rotate. I know there's a lot of people that would want to go for the cups, but I just can't see we're keeping the same squad, because they're either going to drop like flies and we're going to have to play the under-21s in a Premier League match, or we're going to have to play them against Rochdale, and it's risk or reward, but we cannot afford to play the first teamers against all the first teamers against them. Obviously, you want a mix of experience and youth, but.
Yeah, so you might see the likes of Jamie Sterry have a start. Maybe Elias Sounds might get a place on the bench.
Actually, I think Croft will play instead of Sterry. I don't think Sterry will play again.
Depends on
it's a shame, but
depends if we've got a left back or not. And then you might say Tom Allen's banging the goals in, Mo Sangare sent me. Who knows? We might see a couple of the kids on the bench. Obviously, there's a preview with Rochdale. I've deleted the original clip whilst I was over there, so that's my mistake.
Well done.
Well done, and also deleted Johnny from the Happy New Year one as well. So yeah, I've been up to my ears with editing lately. But what's worrying, just touching back on the league, is we've lost 3 in a row now, and that was my fear going into Rochdale because it's a huge banana skin. I know they're struggling in League One at the bottom, but
who else is?
Big shout out.
The day off Fleetwood.
Big shout out to Joey Barton with Fleetwood. With the league table at the moment, we're now closer to that 18th position because the bottom sides have won a few games as well. Are you now changing the mindset? Because me and Paul are very similar, whereas we're just looking at 18th all the time. What's 18th's results?
Well, I've never stopped looking at 18th's results because you see Watford, they're on a bit of a winning run now.
Southampton are.
Southampton, like, they're starting to win games.
They'll have won the day.
And they're starting to catch with. So we need to sort it out very quickly, because if we don't, by the time we get these big players back, they're going to be massive games where the 3-point deciders and things like that. We're still okay at the minute, but we need to get it. By the time we played Wolves away and Chelsea at home, we could be back in it, mate. We really could. So we need to get work together.
We're going to wrap up. It's been cruel. Absolutely cruel. You talk about the 2 goals mistakes by Lejeune, you talk about the 4 injuries. We've got a massive pile up. We're losing games. You never know that if we were to get something in a win, or you know what it is, even if you got to replay it, and that sounds daft because we're just losing games. Stop that rot. Let us know what you think, of course. Ta-ra everyone, have a good night, have a good I nearly said weekend, but it's not, it's midweek. Ta-ra.